And a good morning to you all. It is a Wednesday. It's hump day. And we're kind of chilly out there as we begin this morning, this Wednesday morning here. Live shot. We have, I don't think those are lake effect clouds per se here at the airport on our Myers Mentor RV weather cam. But we do have some breaks in the clouds. This is a typical what happens when you get a very chilly a very strong but dry cold front, by the way, that passed through the area. A lot of times there's, of course, you have the cold air passing over the warmer lake waters. That's why these are probably somewhat lake induced. But we have a little upper level support that comes in behind the front, provides a little bit of lift. If there's a lot of moisture in the air, it may even set off a few showers, but we're pretty dry here. And nice birds fly by the way. So that's what we're going to see as we get into this morning, this Wednesday morning overall. And as we check out, let's see, maybe we can do another weather cam here. The tower cam is out. This one shows a nice look on the tower cam. And you can see clouds overhead here, not seeing the sun break through. Clearing out over the lake, and eventually, what often happens, and what we expect to happen here, is that the clouds will gradually dissipate as we head on in the next several hours here. Here's the latest on our future cast. You can see they have the clouds still kind of hanging around. Then about 9 o'clock onward, looks like it's all sunshine. Look at that northeasterly wind. That's a chilly wind. We have the high pressure coming right out of Canada here, and that's going to really keep things, again, on the cool side. Don't expect temperatures to get above 60. We'll stay in the 50s for today, and that's with good sun for most of the day. Shows you how cold this high is. Now, that high is going to move over the area tonight, and the winds will die down. You can kind of see the lines getting a little thinner, a little bit farther apart. Here, wind is important. Even a light wind, is important from the potential for frost. And we do have a good potential for frost later on tonight, particularly in areas south of Route 20. I think the only place that will escape the frost per se will be north of Route 20, north of 26th Street, which includes most of downtown area toward the lake shore. The part that's nebulous here is that Route 20, the I-90 corridor, and because sometimes those areas are usually if there's enough wind, and there may be, that would keep frost to a minimum. When I say wind, I mean like 5, 6, 7 miles an hour. I don't mean a gusty 20-mile-an-hour wind here, but it will be enough to stir the air and maybe keep the cool air from pooling at the surface to allow for frost. But that's iffy between 20 and 90. South of 90, I think the odds of frost are good, if not high. In fact, we do have a freeze warning, in fact, or freeze watch, excuse me, not warning, a freeze watch. If I can find that graphic here we go. So we have a freeze watch. That means that temperatures, typically when temperatures are expected to get below 27, we call that a freeze. That 27 to 32 range is frost. Though again, frost can form as cold as, or as warm as 38 or 39. So basically that anything above 27 to the mid 30s is frost. Once you get to 27 and below, we consider that a freeze. From a plant standpoint, freezes can kill a lot of plants, even cold hardy plants. So that's that's what got the freeze watch. Interestingly, the Weather Service did not issue any frost advisories for Erie and Crawford counties, and my guess is they probably think that the wind will be enough to keep the frost not from not happening. It will happen, but not enough to get into the advisory criteria. I admit I'm not quite sure what the criteria is to issue a frost advisory. typically it has to be a widespread frost. But I think there's a good chance that we'll see some frost. Even if we don't get the frost, there are some, like we have basil that's outside right now. My wife hasn't transplanted yet to the larger pots. We're going to bring that in, even though, actually I kind of live in that nebulous area between 20 and 90. So I'm not taking any chance. We're going to bring in the pots that we can and have my daughter cover some of the maybe more sensitive plants out in the garden for today. Something you may want to consider, especially if you live south of 90, but even north of 90. It doesn't take a frost to damage the plants. I've seen many times, where it's dropped down to 37, 38. We may not have had a frost, but it seems to kill the basil, especially the herbs that we have. So just something to consider as you plan your day. Otherwise, though, we have a nice warm up in store here, a steady warm up. Of course, after today, it's kind of hard, kind of a low bar here as to how things are going to improve as we go on through the day. But we do expect temperatures to warm up tomorrow, probably about 10 degrees warmer than today. Normal high is, excuse me, the normal high is about 68 here. I'm going to check real quick. I haven't checked the latest climate update here. Let's see, what is high for Erie right now? It is has it reached 70 yet? Okay. Friday is really anything that you would call warm. We've been a very dry weather pattern, mainly because these systems are coming out of Canada and not from the Gulf of Mexico. So we've had dry conditions. We still have a moderate risk of burning, moderate risk of wildfires here, especially with the breeze today and like yesterday. Burning, use caution. Make sure you have the water nearby in case you're burning. After that, also, it's going to stay dry here for a bit. Friday night, Saturday morning may be the only real substantial we get. Maybe we'll get a half inch, hopefully, because once you go through most of next week, what I'm seeing, again, not real hot. You see their 60s and mid 70s, but very little rain expected even into next week. So I'm not saying we're going into drought conditions, but we're definitely going into dry conditions here. All right, Marty, good morning to you. Todd Crow, hello, Shelly. Good morning to you out there in Corey. April, hello to you. Teresa, hello. Nancy Turner, good morning. Sue Herbstritt, hello to you. Hey, Lori, out there at the Borough, 42. Bill, out in Waterford, no frost, 45. Phyllis, our other Edinburgh gal. No, it's covered by a window here, but I'm going to bet you're at 42. Okay. Bob and Sue, good to see you. Yeah, and Mark, that's probably the smart thing to do, when it comes to planting flowers. There are flowers that are hardier in the cold. I'm lucky to have a master gardener daughter now, so we feel a little more confident about that. But and besides, the herbs we usually put in pots, so we can bring those in relatively easily, as long as she doesn't use the big 2-foot ones there. Hello, April. Happy Hump Day, Sue. Good to see you. Alan Zimmer, good morning to you. And absolutely. We typically will wait until Memorial Day. We've gotten a little bit more confident again in going mid-May, like Mother's Day, and kind of taking our chances. But if you live anywhere outside of downtown, the Lakeshore, Memorial Day is probably a better day to plant. But if you're gardening, there are many good plants, peas, broccoli, I believe, and cabbage. And there are those plants that are pretty hardy. You can plant even as early as April and put them up. Of course, the weather has to be good enough to plant them, which wasn't the case for us. Marty, I don't know. I haven't followed the fires too much out north and out west. I'm going to guess they're still going. Wildfires don't just end. But the weather pattern patterns have not been conducive. We have been interesting, where we had that real thick layer right over us. And we may have some hazy conditions at times, but honestly, I have not really looked too much at that. Maybe something we can check for tomorrow. Okay, people, have to fly. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.